So how would you like to see yourself and know yourself as source, universe, God, whatever label you want to use? How would you like if you knew that about yourself? Well, today, the White Stone Ceremony is another annual ceremony that Unity churches are doing all over the world. And then last week we did our burning bowl. Well, we let go what does not serve our highest good. So we have created space, because these are things that take up space within us. And we've created space now for things to come in that will serve our highest good. For us to relieve the blocks that are blocking us from our life. So you all have your stone in your hand, or hopefully you'll have it in your hand, and kind of hold on to it. So, because you're vibrating, your stone is vibrating. These are from Jerusalem, so they have been blessed, and they have the energy of Jerusalem. And so we don't have enough stuff, huh? Okay. So just kind of hold on to them. I'm going to try to make it through my talk today. Your white stone is just, usually it's just one word. And you're going to receive that during your meditation. So we'll get to that a little further along. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into the book that we went into last week, The Untethered Soul. If you have not read this book, and we're going into the new year, and you are going to make a commitment to deepen your existing spiritual commitment. You're all committed or you wouldn't be here. You're all committed, right? To be a spiritual being and to raise to whatever that is to serve the highest good of yourself in the world. So you've already made the commitment. But now we're going to deepen that commitment, right? This book will help you to do that. I've read it a couple times now. We have about 5 or 7 of them, I think, in our bookstore, and they're $10 if you would like one. One thing about this energy that's coming in, don't think that you are not affecting your life in the world by the way you're thinking and feeling and acting. The energy right now is so powerful. And if you're thinking negative thoughts, you are empowering them. If you're thinking positive thoughts, you are empowering them. But the energy is more powerful now than it has ever been. We are going into a different dimension, guys. So get ready. And just like what I'm experiencing now, there will be discomfort. There will be some toxicity that you're going to have to release. Things that you have held on to for a long, long time. So this is a commitment that we make with ourselves. This is not for the weak. This is for the brave and the strong. And because you have the abilities of 12 powers, Unity teaches the 12 powers. What are they? They are love. They are imagination. They are power. They are wisdom. They are understanding. They are zeal. They are illumination. They are faith. They are life. They are ardor. They are will. And they are strength. You have all of those abilities within you. Charles Fillmore taught those. And they are within every fiber of your being. So now it's time to use those powers. But we cannot do that unless we make a complete, total commitment to do so. Because you're going to experience being uncomfortable. Okay? So let's dive in a little bit here. So we go in, this is Michael Singer's the author of the book, and the first step he suggests is taking down your walls. We all have walls, right? We have created them our entire life. And to become into a spiritual being, we're going to have to come up against our walls. All of our life, we have been defending our walls. When we get close to the edge, what do? We pull back, right? We don't want to run into our walls. Our whole life, we've been doing everything so we wouldn't run into our walls. Why don't we want to run into our walls? Because it doesn't feel so good. It's not comfortable. So we start defending those walls. So what happens? We create thicker and thicker walls. But get ready. If you are wanting to make a commitment to your spirituality, if you're wanting to make a commitment to empowerment, enlightenment, you're going to have to start running right into your walls. Because that's the only way you're going to knock those walls down. Think of it like this. Think of it that you're this house. And you are built these great walls that have completely filtered out everything from the outside. But your house is in a field, an unlimited field that's filled with light. The sun is coming down on your house, and you're in this big open field of light. But you're in the house that you have created by putting walls up. Your walls are your emotions and your thoughts and your opinions and your judgments. So they get thicker and thicker as you go through life, and you keep adding to your walls. You decorate the inside of your house with your past life, with dreams of the future. Beautiful inside of your house. But then what starts to happen as everything gets shut out? You eventually are in the darkness. Because you've been living in a house of artificial light. Right? Well, do you think that artificial light is infinite, is eternal, will always be present in your home? No. Because it isn't eternal. It isn't infinite. It is artificial. Excuse me. It is not a true light. So that is what we do. We create this little safety, this little house, and our walls get bigger, and we start filling our house with all these different aspects of artificial light until they finally burn out. Then what happens to our physical body and our mind? Once our light burns out, what happens? We become ill. Our mind is no longer a part of us because now it's just racing. It's on autopilot, and it's just, you know, the monkey mind, right? Just going to town with whatever society or whatever's going on around you. There's no control from you whatsoever. You're on autopilot. That's all you're doing. You're living on autopilot. So the next step is keep going above and beyond. So what we want to do now with our white stone ceremony, we want to go beyond these walls that we've created. Now, how do we do that? How do we get beyond? Now, remember what we talked about last week. There's a personal self of you that is out front here, okay? And then there's this self, capital S self, the spiritual self that you are, that sits back here witnessing what the personal self is doing, okay? So now it's time, what we want to do now is to get rid of that personal self and live from the self, capital S self, God self, universal self, source, whatever. We want to live from that place. So that's what we want to try to achieve today. We want to place our focus on how we're going to go about doing that. So let's use an example. Remember, we've always had, used to always have to put our dogs in fences, right? So they wouldn't get out. Nowadays, you have electrical fences. So you build this, put this under the ground. The dog can't see it. You put the little collar on the dog. So the dog goes out, thinks that, whoa, I'm free. There's no boundaries. There's no limitations. I'm free, right? Kind of like what we think, right? So what happens when he gets to the edge of that yard? Zap! He feels discomfort. He feels pain. So what does he do? He steps back. don't want that pain or discomfort, he jumps back. And that's what we do in life. As soon as we get to the edge of something that we are uncomfortable with, something that will help us to evolve a little bit further into our spiritual being, we pull back because it doesn't feel good. It's not comfortable. It's painful. Right? But what happens if every time the dog got to the edge, he just kind of tested it and went a little bit into that electrical current, into that pain? Well, he's given his body the chance to get used to that different feeling, right? So every time the dog does that, it gets a little bit less uncomfortable, and he's actually finally able to go right through that, right? And really and truly be free. And that's what we do. It's the same thing. Every time we get too close to feeling our stuff, we pull back. We start protecting it. We start covering it up. We start defending it. So today we're making a spiritual commitment in our white stone ceremony that we no longer want to be in that house of darkness. We want to make the decision now to go beyond no matter what. No matter what discomfort's coming our way through it. Because we know as spiritual beings what is on the other side. What is beyond the personal self. That is us as source. Right? And then we rise above. We go beyond and above. We start rising above what's going on outside here. We're no longer even a part of it. Do you feel like you are a part of what's happening right now in the world? I don't. I'm not connected to it. I am seeing, I'm sitting in the back of me, looking through eyes, but I'm looking through the eyes of spirit. And knowing that I am responsible to hold the highest energy and the highest peace of my own being. But it is taken running into that electrical fence over and over and over and over again. And each time making the commitment to know I am willing and able to go beyond it. And each time I get a little further and a little further. To love beauty is to see light. And so how do we know when we're finally connecting to that self, that spiritual self that we are? How do you know when you're starting to connect to that? Because you start seeing everything as beautiful. It's like going into the botanical garden and seeing all the different flowers and the different leaves and the different colors and the beauty of it all. But this is like when you walk out into the world and you start seeing that in other people. They have their different colors, they have their different textures, their leaves are placed in different places, but they're all still beautiful. Nature teaches us the beauty of love, seeing beauty no matter what. So that's how you know when you're starting to evolve out of that personal self. You no longer are attached to the little I, me, and mine kind of mentality. Now you're attached to the we, us, they, to the whole. And you start seeing through eyes of love. Everything is beautiful. Even what's going on in the world today, there is a beauty to it because there is a reason to it. Just as I am purging right now, the world is purging, guys. Let it purge. Get out of its way. Let it do what it has to do to let go of all the toxic pain and hurt that the world's been carrying all this time. Allow it to be just where it is, just as it is. I'm allowing myself to go through this. It's been a week, I've been in bed. And everybody's saying, go to the doctor, take your medicine, blah, 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 blah. No. I'm not pushing this stuff back down so we can come back up later on. I'm going to feel it. I want it out of me. And the same thing has to happen in the world. So instead of forming your opinions about it and your judgments about it and wanting it to be different, just accept it, because that energy of acceptance, that energy of non-judgment and love will create more of it. Peace that passes all understanding. So do you think when you go to your human mind that you understand all of this? There's no way you can understand all of this. No possible way. But the more you go beyond that wall, that baggage, that electrical fence, you won't need to understand it because it is you. It is you. It's who and what you are, capital U. It's the divine self. So if you're trying to make sense and you're trying to understand it, peace that passes all understanding is a spiritual peace. And you can only feel it when you experience it. We cannot begin to understand from a spiritual understanding until we experience it. And with that comes running into your electrical fence and getting used to the frequency. You know, when your frequency changes and you start vibrating higher, remember, we've been vibrating so low. The world's been vibrating so low. Well, what do you think that does to a physical body that is not, this is not permanent. This is a temporary thing here. What do you think happens when you start vibrating higher? Of course it's going to affect the physical body. Of course it's going to affect the world. So remember that as we raise our vibration, you're going to feel it in the physical body. But you will also experience it from spirit. And spirit knows. And there won't be the doubt that this is something I don't understand. When someone says to me, well, I want to understand this, I know that they're coming from the personal self. Because they want to try to understand it from a mind who has no way can understand it. It is an experience that you have as you go through this process. Peace, my peace I give to you, my peace I leave with you. You are that peace. So today, I have a song. We're going to really be in a celebratory place because I have a lot of music today, because music raises our frequencies. So I invite you to sing. Use your voice. Use your body. Get that energy moving through you, as you. So I would like for us to do this song first, and then after this song, because it will help get your mindset into the right place. It's called Rise from Faith Riviera. After that, I will get you in a place to start meditating, and the meditation will have frequencies of the God frequencies, the 963 hertz. So as you sit in meditation, you'll be taking in these frequencies. And when you're taking these in, when thoughts come through, don't resist them, don't push them away, just allow them to pass through you, okay? And go to your heart space, because today you will receive a word. Some people even receive a name. You know, a lot of people change their names as they come into a state of enlightenment. They no longer associate themselves with the personal I. They have spiritual names. Saratoga was one that Nita sends me a lot, and I'm sure that wasn't probably her name. It's probably her spiritual I am that she took on. So today you may receive a name, a spiritual name, or just a word. Last year I kept hearing calm during the whole meditation. I needed to calm down last year. So that was my word last year. And then after our meditation and after that, and as soon as you receive your word and you know that, you can write that on your stone and you can take that with you today. So let's listen to these words and then we'll get prepared for meditation of this song. Sing if you like to sing.
I open my heart. I'll take a deep breath. Let the
Healing start. Let's invite the healing in. My hands, plant my feet.